Hi, and thank you for tuning in. I'm going to repost a video that I made back on January 27th when I first was becoming concerned about that novel coronavirus that was spreading around China. But many of the things that I said in that video have come to pass, and I think it would be a good idea to look again at those ideas that I had back then. I'm also going to show you a couple of slides that relate to what is in that initial video, plus a population chart showing projected population change in countries that was produced in, I think it was 2017, with forecast population changes. So I'm going to show you that now. This chart is from a website, and it's called Deagle, D-E-A-G-L-E, and I think it's like a statistical analysis website. But as you can see on the chart, it shows decreases in population between 2017 and projected to 2025. Many of the countries show decreases and some of them show increases. China shows a big decrease. The United States shows a decrease of some 58 million. Now, I don't know for sure what data they use to make this chart, but I think it certainly is worth looking at and contemplating. And of course, we won't know for months or years exactly what is going on, but I think this is interesting. Here we have the Benenson Strategy Group salvage program that was prepared for Hillary Clinton during the final stages before the last election. And this is what my video is really about that you're going to be watching in a minute. But I wanted to just read to you and tell you a little bit about this strategy program. There were 7 ideas that were being considered: Red Dawn, Cobalt Rain, riots, Sharia escalation, and an unnatural disaster. So the one that I'm going to talk about here is called Zikpocalypse. Okay, I'm going to read actually what it says here on Zikpocalypse. It says under notes, improved strain of the Zika virus have been delivered and we have disseminated them to operatives. Unfortunately, this will suppress women voters more than men, even as Zika virus is lethal in adults. This would hurt Hillary Clinton, and Trump voters are willing to risk lethal pathogens to vote. And what the risks and issues are stated here as post-election control would be a problem. So it was not used during that last election, but since it looks like it could have been, it's possible that it's being used in this election as a method of preventing Trump from being reelected. So it's just an idea, but it is possible, and it's among many theories that are coming forth. Now let's go ahead and listen to the video that I made in January, and we'll see just how you viewers think about that. Hi, and thank you so much for tuning in. It's been over a year now since I've made a video, and I thank all of my loyal subscribers for hanging in there. And last fall I relocated from Ohio to Phoenix, and now that I'm retired, finally, I have more free time to get back to producing videos and researching topics that I'm interested in. Well, today I bring you an urgent message that we need to get out. And this is my question. Is the spread of the coronavirus intentional or preventable? Well, I've been trying to catch up on what's going on in the world, both in mainstream media outlets as well as alternative. And as I read things, I remember a controversial document that was leaked just before the last presidential election 4 years ago. And it was one of the presidential candidates' strategy report, and it was called the Salvage Program. And it was prepared by the Benenson Strategy Group, and it's available online as a PDF document, the entire document. Just do a search for Benenson Strategy Group Salvage Program. And in the document, it detailed several methods that could disrupt that election. And one of them was a fake alien invasion. In fact, that's the actual suggestion that would most likely work to throw the election one way. And the other one of the other suggestions was to disrupt the election by the distribution of a virus, causing an epidemic, much like what's going on right now. And their recommendation was that the martial law would be enacted for the purpose of controlling the electorate. And of course, conspiracy theorists are foaming at the mouth with possibilities that should martial law be enacted, and that would be infrastructure disruption, mobility and transportation paralysis, isolation, containment, and quarantine because of the virus. And that could all conclude with the enaction of martial law across the globe. And I'm going to just ignore that phone. Sorry, I forgot to turn it off. Well, this threat is real. But the question is, what can we do about it? We don't want to be victims. So I always say prepare for the worst and hope for the best. And that's the first step. That means survival supplies, developing a survival plan so you can connect with your family and not be separated, stockpiling food and water, putting together a bug-out bag and determining a bug-out location if that's what you choose, or you might prefer to shelter in place. Well, if FEMA camps are put into use and martial law is enacted, then that means you will be rounded up, you'll be screened for the virus, and interred in camps that are already in place across our country. And I'll put up a slide showing the location of the hundreds of FEMA camps that are already put together. Well, personally, I would rather shelter in place as long as I can. And my own gear includes masks and goggles and duct tape and tarps and black trash bags and candles and flashlights and batteries and food and water, food preparation supplies like sterno or propane, medication and supplements, shelf-stable dry foods, sanitation supplies, battery-operated radio or shortwave radio would be even better. And even with all this preparation in place, we know that water will become the commodity that's most important. So stockpile as much water as you have room for. And there are a few conspiracy theories, other than disrupting the election, that have been presented for the purpose of spreading an intentional virus to distract attention from a different and possibly more ominous threat, such as an asteroid impact on Earth or a space object that's on course with Earth, or the much anticipated geographic pole shift that many say are coming, or the magnetic pole reversal that we know has already begun. Well, there could also be an incoming solar event, such as a coronal mass ejection, or worse, even possibly a micronova. And for those who are interested, it's been postulated that incoming novae are cyclic, every 12,000 years or so. Well, does that ring a bell? 12,000 year cycles? Ice ages are also on the same schedule. And if it weren't for evidence that novae come from the center of our own galaxy, we can research other solar systems within our Milky Way galaxy, and we can track the evidence of novae approaching before our own sun decides to wake up. And for those interested in this topic, I suggest just searching the terms recurrent novae, that's NOVAE, plasma physics, and you'll find volumes of information that you can research. Well, these are some of the gravest theories of extinction level events that may be on the horizon. And there are certainly more even than that. Well, back to the topic of pandemics. In a recent video produced by the Leak Project YouTube channel, Rex Baer has uncovered a U.S. patent that indicates as early as 2007 the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention was issued a patent for the coronavirus. Well, I'm hoping the purpose of developing that would be to develop a vaccine, which could be in place right now, waiting for this epidemic to explode. Well, I hate to even think about an alternative motive for the patent. But rounding up everyone into FEMA camps to get vaccinated would make sense, albeit perhaps a subversive motive to a much more damning plot, and only time will tell. My suggestion is for you to keep up with the developments of the spread of the virus and to know what your own local authorities are doing to prevent the epidemic from spreading. Keep one step ahead of the authorities. Use precautions to avoid exposure and bolster your own immune system. Get the masks and gloves and disinfectants while supplies are still available. Wash your hands often. And keep away from crowds, airports especially, and stay away from people who have recently traveled overseas, especially those returning from China. Well, good luck. And thank you for watching and for your support. May your God bless you, protect you, and keep you safe. And my love extends to each one of you. This is Natasha saying goodbye.